leads the line in his absence. They have Meslier in goal, Struijk, Vober, Cooper and Ayling their backline, Adams and Rocker behind the three of Gnonto, Sinisterra and Harrison, with Bamford leading the line. So we are underway here at the City Ground, the first of two Premier League commentaries for you on 5 Live's Premier League Sunday, with Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City to come at 4:30. Forest have it then, just in front of their own penalty area with Willy Boly, who goes long upfield. Brennan Johnson lets it run through. Gibbs White is trying to chase it down, but it comes all the way through to Meslier, who makes the gather. And the first strains of marching on together, and look at that from the Leeds fans.
Leeds left their, look, you know the little cones that they do from the warm-up, they left them on the pitch. I hope the Leeds, one of the coaching staff's going to be in trouble.
Tut, tut, tut. Eagle-eyed Clinton Morrison spotting that as Meslier just spins the ball into the D of his penalty area and then sends the long booming clearance upfield. And Bamford trying to get on the end of it. Boly was a bit hesitant. He and McKenna eventually get it clear up towards halfway. Danilo helps it on towards Wood. This is just inside the Forest half at the moment. Good bursting run through the middle from Mangala. And Forest have it back with McKenna, who will find Boly just in front of his area. Works it across this right-hand side. Too much on it, though. Nico Williams can't keep it in. It rolls out of play for a throw right down in front of Steve Cooper in his technical area. Struijk will take this throw, but our referee Rob Jones just informing him that he needs to retreat a couple of yards. Does that, finds Bamford, who tried to ticket it infield to Harrison, who of course came close to leaving Leeds in the January window.
That's strange. He was doing his medical, practically in the middle of doing his medical. Then they've offered him a new contract.
That's one way to get it sorted, and going through here was Gnonto, who almost managed to find a way through. Sinisterra, in fact, who was in the area, and Forrest fell asleep there. And Keylor Navas with the first piece of action of his Nottingham Forest career as he made the gather.
Sinisterra, he should score. He should score. He does ever so well. He reads it. At the back, they hesitate. Boly comes. He comes out too late. It's good bit of skill, and he's got to make better contact than that. But really good save from Navas. That will give him confidence on his first start for Nottingham Forest. But Sinisterra should really be scoring there.
22 major trophies in his career so far for the vastly experienced Costa Rican. And they've made a lot of signings, as we know, Forest, but there's a touch of the Hollywood about Navas arriving here at the City Ground, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. When you speak about how many trophies he's won and major stuff, 22, that's unbelievable. And to get a goalkeeper of his class to this football club is brilliant for Forest.
Clinton Morrison with us here at the City Ground. Goalless between Forest and Leeds as the ball is rolled back to Keylor Navas, who raises his hand in apology as he shanks the clearance out of play for a throw to Leeds round about the halfway line. Struijk will take it then for Leeds in an interesting change kit. Yellow with flashes of blue, looks a bit like a explosion in a paint factory, the way that the patterns have worked out for them. Here is Harrison, brings it forwards on the left flank for Leeds United. Good challenge on him in centre field by Remo Freuler, and Leeds will build again into the feet of the lively Sinisterra, who's worked it out wide. Gnonto wanted it through the middle, and getting back there was Freuler to help out his back line. But, well, a bit scrappy in centre field at the moment, as eventually Renan Lodi just puts his boot through it and sends it up towards the centre circle. But again, ping-pong in that midfield area before the whistle goes from Rob Jones for a free kick Leeds United's way.
Yeah, the game hasn't started yet. Leeds look, they started, but as for Forest, they haven't started. They're trying to get the ball down and play. They like to usually play out from the back. So, yeah, Steve Cooper won't be happy with the start they've made so far.
Leeds free kick then by the centre circle, which Adams takes into the feet of Mark Rocker. Now it's Pascal Struijk, left wing for Leeds, into Harrison, who's wriggled it out to the left flank. Gnonto darting infield from that left-hand side. And it's back with Harrison again on the left for Leeds. He's got 3 Forest players around him. One of them is Brennan Johnson, who sticks out a boot to prod it out of play for a throw to Leeds. Struijk waits over it, waits for someone to make a run for him. Gets the offer in the shape of Gnonto. Struijk gives it back to Gnonto, who was trying to wriggle his way past Boly, who stood firm. But Leeds have it once again. As Clinton was saying, feels like a game that is yet to settle. And I wonder if the nerves are perhaps playing a part in that, given that it does feel like such a big game for both sides, especially with the results that we saw in the Premier League yesterday. Players say that they don't pay attention to other results and the way that the table is looking. That's not true, though, is it?
No, of course it's not true. You think Man City were watching the game yesterday, they were rubbing their hands for sure. They just got to get their job done today. But no, you're right. There's a few big results down the bottom yesterday, and a few teams winning, and a few teams getting a draw. So yeah, this is a big game. What you have to do, Mark, when you're down there in the bottom, you have to beat teams that are going to be in and around you, especially your home form. And this is a big game for Nottingham Forest and Leeds as well.
I saw some Leeds fans saying it's not necessarily must win for Jesse Marsh, but it's reaching the must not lose territory for them. Here is Willie Nyonto losing possession, and Gibbs White has hooked it forwards. Big boost for Forest that he's available today. Many expected him to still be out with the injury that meant he missed the League Cup semi-final against Manchester United.
Yeah, I was here for the first leg and he limped off, and yeah, it did look like he would be out for a bit, but to be fair, it's good news because he's probably been Forest's best player so far this season alongside Brennan Johnson. I think them two in particular have been outstanding for them.
Well, no chances of note so far, with almost 6 minutes on the clock at the City ground. And the ball is in Leeds possession once again with Luke Ayling over on that far side. He knocks it in field. Tyler Adams trying to make something of it, unable to do so. Rocker missed out as well, but it's sent forwards by Max Vober. And Forest have it with Renan Lodi in the left-back area. Remo Freuler tries to come forwards, but again, heavy touch, scrappy play, and it rebounds out for a Leeds throw.
Yeah, they can't get their passing going, Forest. It's been very sloppy, the ball's been in the air a lot, but this will suit Leeds. You go away from home, you want to get a good start, and that's what Leeds are doing at the moment. As I said earlier, I think Steve Cooper will be disappointed with the start so far from Nottingham Forest.
Forest have only lost 2 of their last 10 Premier League games. Bottom for so long, but going well at the moment, although defending to do here. Ayling hit from the edge of the area is charged down. Adams picks up the pieces and tries to recycle it for Leeds, and eventually it squirts all the way through into Keylor Navas's area, and he lets it run out for a goal kick.
Let me tell you something, that touch from Nonto is brilliant. He's only a young kid, but he's going to be a star. They paid not a lot of money for him, mate. He's been excellent so far in the Premier League. He just goes inside Nico Williams easy. It's just Ayling tries a shot. It's a good block, but yeah, good play from Nonto on the left-hand side.
0-0, 7 minutes gone. McKenna brings it out from the back for Forest, sends it long up towards Chris Wood, who's not had a sniff so far and can't make that one stick either, as it breaks in centre field and Rocker knocks it square to Adams for Leeds. Adams makes up a bit of ground and gets over the halfway line, bringing Strauch into it on the left. He's advancing as well, and then the ball in towards the area is too close to Keylor Navas, who all in light blue comes out and makes an easy gather, the Forest goalkeeper.
Yeah, Strauch, he has to do. He played a lot there on that left-hand side. I thought Werber, when he came in, he would be the left back because he can play on that side, but he's been playing really well as a centre half. He's got to have better delivery when he's putting balls into the box for Bamford to attack.
Strauch coming to meet an aerial ball, and it's broken for Harrison, whose touch was a little bit shaky, nudged forwards by Nico Williams, who rises to win the header again on the halfway line for Forest. Danilo sticks out a boot, and now Bolly's header again towards the centre circle area. Chris Wood got a touch on it, didn't know where it had gone, so Leeds can knock it forwards for Bamford to chase, and McKenna gets enough on it to guide it home to his keeper.
Yeah, it's good. Rocker and Adams are winning that midfield battle at the moment, and it's a bit strange, to be fair, because they've got a 2 in there and Forest have got a 3, but they're still somehow managing to win it. Haven't started yet, Forest.
And Leeds have got it once again with Harrison surging over halfway, and he was just tugged back by Danilo, who was quick to offer a hand in apology to the referee Rob Jones, perhaps a little bit wary that a yellow card might have been coming his way, but it is just a free kick for Leeds, which is midway inside the Forest half. Goes the hand from Mark Rocker, who is waiting for Brennan Johnson to retreat the full distance before he dispatches this free kick. Pretty much all the players are gathered in a cluster on the right edge of the penalty area as Leeds would look at it. So Rocker likely to swing it in towards the edge of the penalty box for them to attack. He does that, and then a couple of players go over. Rob Jones didn't see anything untoward. Luke Ayling saying that there was a trip in there. He's not interested. Goal kick, Forest.
Yeah, to be fair, Forest are a big, powerful team, so it's going to be hard for Leeds to break them down through a set piece. Commentators curse, probably next corner they get they score from one, but no, they're good. They've got guys like Bolly and McKenna that can go and attack the ball.
Well, Forest have scored fewer than 16 goals at this stage of a league season, only once in the club's history. And they only managed 14 after 20 games in the Championship in 2020 to 21. Has been a problem for them, and they've yet to mount a serious attack so far. McKenna spins it up towards halfway. Johnson was making the run, cut out though easily, and Leeds have it with Harrison, left side, in towards the D of the area. Bamford with a lovely touch, just flick it up, almost got the shot away, and still not fully clear. Nyonto trying to make something of it. Bamford lays it off. Nyonto by the D of the area. Mangala stuck out of boot. Now here come Forrest, and then Chris Wood. Well, he was looking for the free kick there, wasn't he? He sort of ran straight into Liam Cooper. Rob Jones wasn't buying it, and Leeds have the ball on the right. Ayling goes backwards of square to Adams. Been a good start by Leeds. It's not been great quality so far, but the opening 10 minutes has gone their way generally.
Yeah, it's poor from Wood. He's got to do better than that. He's just got to take a bigger touch and go at him. He's trying to be clever there, but yeah, you're right. Leeds have started ever so well. They're the team that are on the front foot at the moment.
Clinton Morrison with us on 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. It's the Murrays who will be talking you through the 4:30 game. John and Glenn at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Manchester City's trip down to North London. Here is Mangala, who brings it forwards on the left-hand side, feeding Chris Wood. Wood tried to just nick it one side of Voba and run the other, but Voba was down quickly. Full-length diving tackle from him that made the block.
There's only one top Murray out of them two, and it's definitely not Glenn. That's for sure.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, he knows.
On the left for Leeds now is Willie Nyonto. 11 minutes gone, goalless, and Nyonto asking for a corner, and is absolutely incensed to see Rob Jones award the goal kick for Forest instead. But he has been lively, Willie Nyonto.
Yeah, he's good. As I said earlier, he's been good. He could add more goals to his game, but yeah, he creates a lot of chances, and they've got a lot of good attacking players. You look on the bench, Aronson, Somerville was in good form. They've got a lot. I think he'll be happy with his squad. Just losing Rodrigo is a huge blow, as we said earlier.
As well as that, Spurs Manchester City commentary in the Premier League at 4:30 for you on Sports Extra. You can hear commentary of the WSL game between West Ham and Arsenal. That is at 6:30 this evening. Already seen an interesting outcome in the early game, with Manchester United held at home by Everton in the WSL. Chelsea heading top with their victory at Spurs. Here is Johnson for Forest, right wing, and the roars from the home fans are because Pascal Strout just wrestled him to the ground as he tried to cut in field, and he's going to pick up a yellow card as well. And Jesse Marsh was on his haunches there because he feels that the challenge by Danilo earlier merited a yellow card, if Strout is getting booked for that. They're
both yellow cards. He's right. The first one, Danilo, you pull your shirt, it is a foul, but this is just lazy defending from Strout. Lazy, can't move his feet. And to be fair, watching the replay is a harsh yellow card. He just puts his hand out. There's no pulling of the shirt. So, yeah, I feel like he's been hard done by there, Strout, but he's going to have to be careful because Brennan Johnson's got the beating of him.
Well, Gibbs White's going to take this free kick for Forest then, with Mellier's goal packed with Leeds fans in the Bridgeford stand behind him as Gibbs White whips it in. Good looking ball as well. It went through a whole cluster of players, and the first time in is wonderful from Brennan Johnson. Forest in front thanks to a peach of a strike, took it flush on the volley into the bottom left hand corner. That is a stunner, and Forest's first attack ends up in the net. Nottingham Forest 1, Leeds 0.
Told you they can't defend set pieces, Leeds. I've said that, I've been saying it for ages, and it's a foul by Strout where you don't give them. And I did say Forest are brilliant on set pieces. They deal with the first one, but they don't deal with the second one. And the finish from Brennan Johnson is brilliant. This is a young man who's been in fantastic form over the last couple of minutes. The technique to control that and volley that into the bottom corner, fantastic.
Brennan Johnson with 5 goals now in his last 11 games in all competitions, and this was such a sweet strike as well. Difficult chance to take on the volley, edge of the area, but he caught it perfectly and directed it excellently into that bottom corner. I don't think you can really look at Meslier and say that he should be doing better there.
No, it's a great finish from Brennan Johnson. The technique is one of the hardest techniques you'll see in football, to control the volley like that and into the bottom corner. It's a fantastic finish.
The Leeds, who had made the running really in what was a cagey opening, find themselves behind then. And that's got the home fans involved in the game as well, after a bit of a sluggish start from them as well. Jesse Marsh right at the edge of his area now, trying to get his instructions out to his players as Voba brings it forwards for Leeds. The pitch half bathed in sunshine here. It was a pretty mild day for this time of year. Blue skies overhead, but maybe clouds gathering for Leeds given their run of form and their position in the table. Voba for Leeds, midway inside his own half. Congested midfield in front of him, so no obvious pass. Knocks it square to Strauch, who finds Harrison on the left wing, and Harrison running into traffic sees it go out for a throw to Leeds on that left side.
Yeah, they ain't got much. When they're looking for movement, he's there. Harrison's. It's like all the four players are just playing in a straight line. You have to keep moving and interchanging, and that's where they're struggling at the moment. Sinisterra, since that early opportunity, hasn't been in the game.
So Forest leading by a goal to nil. Defending to do here. Nico Williams judged the long ball over the top well, and then there was a bit of wrestling from Nyonto. And Nyonto has sent it wide left, and just as Rocker was trying to get ready to get the cross in, the challenge came in on him, and it came off Rocker last, so it will be a throw to Forest.
Yeah, good defending from Nico Williams there, really good defending. But you're looking at it and you're thinking to Leeds, obviously when they were on top, you're always thinking, you got to score when you're on top. I always say that because Forest will have a spell, and they've scored now, so it's going to be a hard game for Leeds to get back into this game.
Throw for Leeds then, which Pascal Strauch will take. Trailing to a fine Brennan Johnson strike. Strauch has taken the ball out here. No, in fact, it's gone out off a Forest player, so Leeds will get the chance to go again. Jesse Marsch is so animated. He's outside of his technical area. He's remonstrated with his players, trying to get them to speed things up a bit, judging by his body language and the way that the instructions were being made. And Voba nearly gave the ball away to Gibbs White just inside the Leeds half. It has gone safely back to Meslier, who is by the D of his box and squares it to Voba. And again, Jesse Marsch is patrolling the touchline.
You know what he said? All of his front three players that are behind Patrick Bamford are all in a straight line. So you've got to get players to come and drop into pockets, so that enables space for the likes of Nonto to run in behind. And that's where he's saying to his three that are just behind Patrick Bamford, because they're just in a straight line. It's easy to mark like that. And then it's easy for the Forest defenders and the midfielders. So he just wants more movement.
Big game towards the wrong end of the table here, and huge game at the other end with Spurs up against Manchester City. Can City take advantage of Arsenal's slip-up at Everton yesterday? 4:30, full commentary from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on 5 Live. Nico Williams judges the ball well and steps forwards and intercepts, but then his pass into Gibbs White sees it spin the way of Ayling, and a missed clearance from Remo Freuler. Doesn't come to anything as it bounces all the way through to Keylor Navas, who unopposed can just take a few touches with the ball at his feet before, when he is closed by Nyonto, he gathers and picks the ball up. Keylor Navas now drops it in front of him before playing the ball out to the left-hand side. We've had another goal in the WSL game at Brisbane Road. Spurs against Chelsea. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, Tottenham pulled the goal back here, Mark. It's now Tottenham 2, Chelsea 3. We've got 60 seconds to play. It was a good counter-attack goal from Nikola Karczewski. So Tottenham back in the game, but we've only got a minute to play. Tottenham 2, Chelsea 3.
And it's a big day of racing as well. John Hunt's going to be talking us through the action. And this one is the Dublin Chase. John.
Yes, it's for the top 2-milers, or some of the best 2-milers in Ireland and Great Britain for that matter, because Britain have their sole runner of the race in this, So Royal. He's a popular 11-year-old. He's just struggling a bit though in 4th place to the second last fence here. And Gentleman de May leads from hot favourite Blue Lord, who got in quite close to that second last fence. With them is Dunvegan, the rank outside, is doing well, and So Royal just perhaps feeling the pinch a little bit now, back in 4th place. But Gentleman de May, who is ridden by Danny Mullins, replacing jockey Mark Walsh, who had a very nasty tumble in the first race. And Gentleman de May has got Blue Lord on the stretch. This could be the turn-up of the weekend. Gentleman de May coming down towards the final fence, and he's up and over it safely with a 3-length lead over Blue Lord in 2nd place, with So Royal staying on gamely in 3rd. Dunvegan is in 4th, but it's Gentleman de May 4 or 5 lengths clear. The red hot favourite Blue Lord has been comfortably beaten today, and his Cheltenham hopes look in tatters, but Gentleman de May is the winner. Danny Mullins in the saddle for Willie Mullins. Another Grade 1 success for him, but that one was a bit of a shock mark. A 15-2 chance has won the second big race of the day. Still to come this afternoon, of course, the Irish Champion Hurdle.
Yes, thanks very much, John. We'll be back with him for the Irish Champion Hurdle at about 3:10 as Leeds come forwards now with Bamford tries to get the run on Scott McKenna, but didn't have the pace to outrun him. But a few groans from the home fans, some sloppy play from Forest allowing Leeds to advance, but now it's Forest coming forwards with their goal scorer Brennan Johnson, digs it in towards the edge of the area. Gibbs White, heavy touch, still manages to get the strike in, and Strout makes the block.
Yeah, it's a scrappy game. It's lacking real quality, and the only quality we've seen is from Brennan Johnson from his fantastic strike. But Leeds look very sloppy there. Bamford's one-on-one, he has a poor first touch, but Brennan Johnson's the one on the right hand side who looks the most lively. And you're right, heavy touch from Morgan Gibbs White there.
Sean Dyche is in the house. Everton do have both Leeds and Nottingham Forest coming up in their next few games. Had a big grin on his face, as you'd expect after the outcome of their game yesterday. Johnson has managed to keep the ball in wide on the right, and Jesse Marsh again, he looks furious with his players, Clinton, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I would be furious. You got Jack Harrison, you're losing 1-0, he's doing flicks on the edge of his box. No, it's not a time to be doing flicks. You're in a relegation battle. This is a big game. You need to take something from this game. And they started well, but now the Forest are starting to get the upper hand.
Almost midway through the first half then, and Forest ahead through that Brennan Johnson super strike from the edge of the area. Harrison in centre field, knocks it into the feet of Sinistera, who goes over, and Sinistera is unhappy because his boot's been knocked off in that challenge, and so he will take a bit of time before getting that sorted. And he's actually looking across to the bench here. Not sure if it's something serious for him. He is back on his feet now, or at least getting to his feet. But he did look over at the bench, and the Leeds medical staff are now about to come on to tend to him as well. I thought it was just the boot that had flown off, but it might be some more collateral damage for him. And he's clutching that left ankle. And again, he's still in conversation with the Leeds medical team, and he'll have to make his way off the pitch if he does want to receive some treatment. Rob Jones just getting Brennan Johnson to go back the full 10 yards as Sinistera comes across to the touchline and gets different coloured boots. So he's got one sort of reddish pink and one light blue now.
Yeah, he's probably got some new boots and they're probably hurting his ankle. So many a times I've done that, where you don't even have time to change your boots, you play with one on. And I scored a few times of it, so you just carry on wearing it.
I won't ask how many sets of boots that you had waiting for you as the free kick is pumped in, and Keylor Navas comes, spills it, and then gets lucky as the rebound falls favourably, and he collapses on the ball, having made the gather. I think Willie Bolly is down here after a collision in that melee after Navas came, and it wasn't the most convincing piece of keeping from Keylor Navas, was it?
No, it wasn't, to be fair. If he's going to come into bodies, you're going to have to get a bigger punch. I think he does get a bit on it, but he also catches Willie Bolly as well. But very fortunate that the rebound goes into Navas' hand. So yeah, he gets a contact, but also catches Bolly as well. So yeah, in the end, he gets fortunate.
Navas into the side today after joining on loan from Paris Saint-Germain for the rest of the season, and that has given us an impromptu break in play here while Bolly is receiving the treatment. You can see again that Jesse Marsh is using the opportunity to really get stuck in to his players and get the messages across, and he's still actually chuntering away to the officials about the yellow card for Strout that was awarded for the free kick that led to the Nottingham Forest goal scored by Brennan Johnson. Spurs against Manchester City, still to come on 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. John Murray and Glenn Murray at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We will have full WSL commentary on Sports Extra of West Ham against Arsenal as well from 6:30, and it's full time in one of the WSL games that are taking place today. It's Spurs against Chelsea and Sahel Sahi.
And it's ended, Mark. Tottenham 2, Chelsea 3. So Chelsea go top after a nervy display. Jess Carter, she started the scoring. Tottenham pull level, which sparked Chelsea back into action. Lauren James and Guru Wrighton added the second and third before a late consolation for Tottenham. Full time here, Tottenham 2, Chelsea 3.
Thanks to Hales to Chelsea top after Manchester United were held 0-0 by Everton in the midday kick-off here at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest leading by a goal to nil with 25 minutes played. And you just wonder as well, Clinton, confidence is such a big thing in football. Leeds started well, but conceding that goal from a set piece just seems to have knocked them sideways a bit.
It has, and there's been a lot of stoppage, so they want to get up a build up a play, and they can't at the moment. But you're right, it has knocked them, and Forest can keep their shape now and just play on the counter attack. They've got that all important first goal. First goals in games always change games, and it's changed this game.
Liam Cooper for Leeds in the centre circle, rolls it square to Adams. Adams collects and has no obvious route forwards, with Chris Wood closing him down, so Leeds are forced to recycle and build from the back once again. But shortage of options really, no obvious passes on for them, so they have to take a gamble, roll it into Rocker, who pirouettes away from his man. Harrison now sends it wide left. Strauch, early ball in, looking for Bamford, who was making a nuisance of himself.
Offside.
Did enough to...
He was offside. I could see he was offside, and the liner just takes his time to put his flag up. He's the wrong side of him anyway, so he doesn't need to go early as well. What he needs to do is check his run and get in front of the defender. But yeah, good line from McKenna and Bolly again.
Patrick Bamford and Chris Wood leading the respective lines for their teams today, and neither of them have really had a sniff so far.
No, they haven't, to be fair. Chris Wood have probably, when they do the stats on the TV, fewest touches. He'd probably have had the fewest, I think, out of everybody. He hasn't really been involved in the game as yet. But then Leeds have dominated, but Forest to win in the football match.
Willy Bolly for Nottingham Forest then. Bit of juggling before hoiking it forwards up towards Chris Wood, who does get a useful header on it towards the edge of the area. Cooper's there to tidy things up, but has to knock it out for a Forest throw midway inside Leeds territory. Williams goes to collect the ball, has it in one hand, and now gets ready to take the throw, looking for options left and right, and still waiting for someone to give him a shout. Hurls it in towards Gibbs-White, who was saying that he was being bundled over by Voba, but the referee's not interested. And again, Harrison tried to do a clever flick from down in the left back area, which didn't come off, but no ill effect there. And then Patrick Bamford is flattered by Willy Bolly. Willy Bolly basically just stood his ground. Bamford ran straight into him. It was right under the nose of Jesse Marsh, who's incredulous that Rob Jones gave nothing.
Yeah, you hardly ever get those nowadays. Defenders know what they're doing, but they're just saying the striker should get out of the way of it. But he's obviously running in a straight line. But yeah, it's clever from Willy Bolly.
Forest with the lead then, as the ball is knocked up to Wood, who can't make it stick, so it's going to be a Leeds throw, which Ayling will take right back area for Leeds United. No one giving him an option, so he waits and waits for someone to come short. Sinistera eventually does that. Now it's lumped up towards Willie Nyonto, and a hurried clearance from Willy Bolly sees it out for a throw to Leeds on halfway. Ayling will deliver it, but again, it's slow, it's pedestrian. Leeds, who had a bit of urgency early on, have got a bit tepid since then. In centre field at the moment, with Danilo's lost out. Willy Bolly has gone through his man again here, and Leeds once again don't get the free kick. And I think there was a bit of retribution in there from Tyler Adams, who just went thundering into Willy Bolly, perhaps giving him a taste of his own medicine from a Leeds perspective at least.
Yeah, it's one thing Adams does. That's why I like him. I think he's a good player in that midfield. He bites in, he wants to win tackles, and yeah, he leaves a bit there on Bolly, because Nonto thinks he should have been got a free kick just before that.
Yeah, there was the offer of a hand from Tyler Adams to help Willy Bolly up, but he wasn't interested at all in the American's offer of being lifted up to his feet. Keylor Navas will take the resulting free kick for Forest. Good distance on it from the Costa Rican. Wood rises, but isn't able to out-jump Cooper. Forest have managed to win it back in the Leeds half, but eventually it goes all the way back to Bolly, who will spin a chip ball towards the right flank. Johnson couldn't quite grow enough, so Strauch has it, and his pass to Nyonto was asking a bit too much of Willie Nyonto, who has a bit of a shoving match with Nico Williams. All smiles while they're going about it. that we saw in the Manchester United Crystal Palace game yesterday, that you have to be careful even if you're not swinging punches.
Yeah, you can't raise your hands, as Casemiro found out yesterday. You can't raise your hands and put your hands on anyone.
You certainly can when it comes to rugby union, and we'll have live commentary of Italy against France on Sports Extra, coverage from 2:45 for that one, after a thrilling start to the championship with the games that we saw yesterday. And now there's another coming together, and Danilo has picked up a yellow card here, and the players surround the referee Rob Jones here. Strauch is clutching his ankle after the challenge. There are a few afters, and starting to warm up in terms of the battles, if not with the quality of the football.
Well, it should warm up. It's a Premier. You're in the Premier League. It's to survive, and you got to win football matches. And yeah, it should be warming up like that. I think they're moaning about not just the tackle. They think that maybe he might have stamped after, but he doesn't stamp Danilo. His foot's planted, and he's just walking away from it. There, I think they think with the right foot. That's what catches Strauch. It's not the first bit. It's the second bit.
So Danilo in the book. That's one yellow card apiece, with Strauch having picked up a caution earlier as well. So half an hour gone. Brennan Johnson's goal, the difference between the sides. Leeds, who could really do with picking up some points, need to come from behind here, as three of their players are over the ball, and Pascal Strauch is still having a word with Rob Jones about something or other. Free kick anyway for Leeds, which is going to be delivered by Mark Rocker. It's very tight to the left touchline as he swings it in, and Strauch goes over in the area. It doesn't really ask for anything. Aylin recycles, useful, and back across goal, and it should have been 1-1. Well, the cutback was excellent from Willy Nyonto, and I think it was Sinisterra who was trying to get on the end of it, and he skies it over the bar from 6 yards out.
Well, he has to score. He's had two golden opportunities. Not good enough. When you're in a position what Leeds are in, you've got to be taking these chances. It's a great ball from Aylin. It's a great ball. He plays a great ball, left foot into Nonto. Nonto does everything right what you want from a wide player. And Sinisterra, yeah, there's a bit of contact from Bolly, but he's leaning back and he's 6 yards out. He should be scoring. The game should be 1-1. It's poor from Sinisterra.
Yeah, that is a sitter for Sinisterra. It was laid off to him beautifully by Nyonto, as Clinton was saying. Aylin with the vision to loft the ball forwards, Nyonto with the pace to get there and then also deliver the cutback, and it was begging to be put away. So a good chance comes and goes, and Leeds remain 1-0 behind.
Yeah, and Jesse March will be disappointed, because as we say, apart from Forest's goal, Forest haven't really played brilliantly. They haven't been on the ball. They haven't created a lot of things. Leeds are the one who've created the two best chances, and Sinisterra has missed both of the chances. And that's the biggest thing for what Leeds fans will tell you. Putting a ball in the net is the biggest problem, and that's what Leeds have suffered with this season.
If you believe what you read, Jesse Marsh is under a bit of pressure at the moment, and the new arrivals that have bolstered the squad sort of leave him a little less wriggle room as well, because he's increased the quality at his disposal.
Yeah, he's been backed. I'm surprised McKennie didn't start today. I think he's a good footballer. He's been at Juventus. I saw him play in the World Cup for America with Adams and Musa, and they ran over England's midfield in that group game. I thought they were outstanding, to be fair. But so I was surprised he didn't just throw him in, because you need victories, and the owners will be looking and saying, well, we've backed you, now you've got to start delivering on the pitch.
He said that part of the attraction was the style that Leeds play. It suits his game well, that sort of defensive midfield shielding role, but also able to add to the attack. Not something that he was able to really implement while he was playing at Juventus.
Yeah, he probably was in and out the team at Juventus, playing in a different position quite a lot of the time. So yeah, he's a good player though. I think when I saw the bit of business Leeds done, I thought, yeah, really good business.
Andre Ayew and Felipe amongst the latest of Nottingham Forest's arrivals. They are on the bench for Forest today. Here is Adamson for Leeds with 33 minutes played, and Forest ahead by a 1-0. Freuler's nod down to Renan Lodi in the left-back area is not ideal, so Ayling has it for Leeds and has sent it forwards on the right flank, but it's not going to reach its intended target, although a bit of a hurried clearance by McKenna has gifted Leeds a cheap throw. Ayling takes it, right-hand side for Leeds, but it's sloppy from him, and Gibbs White can come forwards, but then his touch was loose as well, and Bamford has managed to work it back to Harrison, D of the box, and then Harrison had the pass on towards Nyonto. It was a pretty easy one as well. He was unable to make it. Now Strout has missed the interception, and the ball reaches Brennan Johnson, but he can't find a way through on the right hand side, and Leeds have managed to clear it away, and eventually it goes off Johnson last for a throw, and Jesse Marsh gathers the ball immediately as it goes out of play, throws it into Pascal Strout and says get on with it.
He wants his team to play quick. That's what he wants to do. He wants the tempo up. He said they're not playing. I tell you what, Harrison's not playing. He hasn't had a good game. There's a great chance to give Nonto one-on-one. As we said earlier, doing flicks in the wrong area. He's got to be better in possession.
Well, you wonder if all the hullabaloo about that potential move might be...
then why play him today? I'd rather go and play one of the new ones if your head was turned to leave.
Nyonto has controlled a long ball over the top beautifully, and now makes his way towards the edge of the area. A couple of Forest players close him down, but he's laid it off towards Rocker, and from the D of the area you thought he might have been better advised to have had a pop at goal. Tried to pick out a pass, it came to nothing, and Forest managed to scoop it up towards Johnson, who sees it rebound off Strauch and out for a throw. And Jesse Marsh now is...
I think he wants a handball. He said he wants a handball somewhere back there. I thought he was looking at the time. I was thinking
that's what I was thinking.
Probably way too early, but I think he's pointing at his arm. He thought there might be a handball just before that.
Well, he's not a happy man, Jesse Marsh, with his players and with the officials, as the throw's taken by Williams down the right flank, and now collected by Adams, who has Mangala for company, in towards Harrison. All a bit congested. Danilo comes away with it, pokes it forwards for Johnson. Too much on it though, so Verba can complete the clearance for Leeds. It's broken to Harrison on halfway. Danilo has to be careful, having already been booked and pulled out the challenge, and now Nyonto is advancing. He's into the box. Nico Williams for company. Cut back for Bamford. Complete miss kick. Ayling's effort. Decent save by Keylor Navas.
I can't believe what I'm seeing there, to be fair. I cannot believe that. It's brilliant play again from Nonto. Nonto does well. Him and Bamford combine. He cuts it back to Bamford. It's a complete miss air shot. I don't. He is going for goal, but he's completely miskicked it. Fell to Ayling. Good shot from Ayling and a good save from Navas.
When you see things like that, it makes you feel better about your own efforts in Sunday League.
Definitely.
I'm speaking about myself, not you, obviously, Clinton. Here's Nyonto, goes backwards of square to Strauch. Leeds with a couple of openings in the last few minutes. Can they make one of them pay? Here's Nyonto again, who's been such a good outlet for them. Into the feet of Sinistera, who inside the area had no shot on, so offloads to Strout. They've gone wide to Nyonto again, who's been doubled up on by Forest, with Johnson and Williams both across there, but they've worked it well, and Sinistera was almost in round the back. Volley's stretching clearance, broke towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's cleared away. And it's a good passage of play, this, for Leeds.
Yeah, to be fair, Nonto's probably been Leeds' best player. He's causing Williams a lot of problems down this left-hand side, getting good balls into the box. As I said, he's a young player. He's so exciting. I've seen a lot of him this season, and I think he's been really good for Leeds. But yeah, Forest will want to get to half-time. They're under pressure at the moment.
It's Nyonto once again on the left. He fancies his chances running at the back line. He's got to the byline now. Can he get the cut back in? No, because Bolly is there to shut the door, and the flag now goes up for offside against Nyonto. But Forest have got a problem here dealing with him.
Yeah, he's lively. He is very lively, and he's getting exposed a bit, Nico Williams, because it's a one-on-one. That's where one of the midfielders, Danilo, Freuler or Mangala, have to come over and help him out, because Brennan Johnson will always stay high for when Forest win the ball to do the counter-attack. So either they have to cut off the pass, or one of the midfield three have to come over and help Nico Williams.
Free kick then for that offside, which Navas is over, having made that save. It was a decent stop from him. It was certainly on target from Ayling, heading into that bottom corner. Sharp stop, but one that you'd probably expect a keeper of his calibre to make. Leeds with defending to do here as Verba gets there in front of Chris Wood, and they've worked it wide to the right, and Ayling coming forwards towards halfway. Ayling loops it towards Nyonto. Williams stretches and makes the headed clearance, but it's broken to Rocker. Forest fans just getting a bit twitchy, because Leeds are starting to knock at the door quite regularly as Nyonto again surges away on the left. His cross is blocked behind for a corner by Nico Williams.
Yeah, he's the player. If I'm a Leeds player, I'm just keep getting the ball to Nonto, keep feeding him and say take him on one-on-one. He's been the bright spot in this first half so far. Good defending, good battle there with Nico Williams. Good defending from Williams there. Good game, Mark.
Yeah.
chilly Sunday afternoon.
Took a while to get going, but it is warming up now, just as Clinton is warming up himself.
Definitely, the tonsils are all right now. We're getting going.
Rocker with this corner for Leeds. Outswinger, and Ayling got ahead to it, and it flashed across the 6-yard box. Forest again, not the most convincing of defending. Harrison with the ball across to Ayling, across goal. Navas stretching, gets a hand to it. Unfortunately for Forest, it doesn't fall to anyone in a Leeds shirt. But Leeds coming on strong as they look for this equaliser with about 7 minutes of the first half left to play.
No, you're up, Navas. You're not going to kick the ball out for you because you're up. You're up. Well, you should have stayed down. You can't. I don't like that because he was up. He was up. Yeah, he was up, and then he went down, and then he said, "Get up." Why don't you just stay down then? Don't try to get up. If it is a head injury, just stay down.
Well, Steve Cooper almost came across to have a word with Jesse Marsh about that particular incident there. Keylor Navas, as Clinton was saying, was on his feet and then wanted the ball to be put out of play. Leeds were having none of it. Nyonto went forwards and eventually
he does get caught in his head. Just stay down. Yeah. Then it's a head injury, because that's what people will say. They don't want to kick the ball. If it's a head injury, then you stay down, because he does. He gets a good boot in a big piece of it, Willy Bolly's boot in his head. It's brave goalkeeping, and Navas has played well so far this afternoon, but just stay down.
Understandably, Leeds want play to recommence as soon as possible because they're building a bit of momentum, but Navas does certainly need to be patched up here, and there is some blood, I think, just coming from his ear where he was caught by Willy Bolly, but it was good, brave goalkeeping from the Costa Rican.
Yeah, he's been excellent. I think he's been good. Listen, for what he's had to deal with so far in this game, I know there's saves where people think because of what he's won, he should be making them saves. You're always a bit nervous in your first start in the Premier League, and he's been good so far, and he had to be good because I think Leeds have been the better team in this first half. 4 minutes
or so of the first half left to play. Navas has been patched up and is ready for play to resume. That's a warm hand from the Forest fans in the Trent end of the ground, and we will get restarted with a bounce ball which is midway in the Forest half, and it will be uncontested, so Strauch will have it once it is dropped. So Pascal Strauch, closed down by Johnson, goes back to Wöber. Wöber in the centre circle, square to Cooper, and now he finds Mark Rocker. Chip ball forwards to the edge of the box, and it almost broke for Bamford in there, but it squirts its way through to Keylor Navas, who comes out to make the gather. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, it's been a good half for Leeds so far. The only disappointing thing is not getting that goal, but I feel like we say that a lot with Leeds. Play good football, just can't put the finishing touches, and that's been the problem so far, and then they get punished at the back. Steve Cooper will be happy because it's 1-0, but yeah, it's not been Forest's better performance. But does he care come the end if it's still 1-0, because they'll have the 3 points?
Well, we saw Sean Dyche in the house with these two sides both coming up for Everton in the not too distant future. Leeds, of course, now have these back-to-back games against Manchester United in the Premier League due to the
I just seen that there. It's crazy, isn't it, to be fair? And they're tough games because you got to look at the form Man United are in at the moment. You make Man United favourites. Obviously, the rivalry between the two clubs is always good, but you make Man United favourites. This is why I think it's so important Leeds can get something this afternoon.
Manchester United away before they play them at Ellen Road on Sunday for Leeds United. Renan Lodi down by the corner flag has got himself in a spot of bother and eventually comes away with the ball and then nearly overruns it. Bamford was sticking out a boot. Leeds have got it back with Tyler Adams, 20 yards out. Poor pass from him straight to Danilo, tries to feed it through for Gibbs White. Very, very vital interception from Cooper as he prevented Gibbs White storming into the Leeds half, and he's earned a free kick as well, Cooper, after he was tripped. Leeds in a hurry to get play restarted. The Forest fans urging their players to push higher up, but they've given the ball away. Chance, Navas with the great save from Nyonto, and then Harrison on the follow-up smashes it straight into Danilo's face, and then Vauban, I'm not sure what he was up to there, blasts it forwards and it goes behind. Well, Keylor Navas has now made a couple of very, very important saves for Forest.
Yeah, he has. That was the best one, I think, because I think there's no communication between Williams and Bolly. I think Bolly's going to deal with it. Williams, he obviously doesn't call him, and Nonto comes inside, but he doesn't get enough bend on it into that far corner. It's a great opportunity to bend it into that far corner. Great opportunity, but credit Navas, another good save.
About 10 yards out, Nyonto, plenty of power on it. Wasn't quite in the corner, but Navas didn't have much time to react, and he got down and beat it away well. Leeds won't want this half-time whistle to come, because they will feel that a goal is coming. And more play goes on.
You're right, Mark. They don't want it. Over the last 10 minutes, they've been better, much better. They've been dominating, causing all kinds of problems, and Forest are holding on.
90 seconds of normal time in the first half left to play as Gibbs White tries to lead a counter for Forest. Leeds have got a man down here. I'm not sure what the incident was, but play will be stopped so some treatment can be administered. Well, he's writhing around, Cooper, at the moment, isn't he? And
it might have been the way he landed, could it have been, because he was going up for, I think, with a header with Chris Wood, and we're far away from it, but it looks like on the far side it might have been the way he's landed, seeing on the TV replays.
Cooper still on the deck and concerned. Jesse Marsh looking across. He's holding onto his left hip by the looks of it. Going to see a replay of it on our monitors here, and I think you're right, Clinton, it's an awkward landing as he jostles with Chris Wood for an aerial ball.
Maybe just winded. Done that a few times where you're thinking, you're thinking, I don't want the physios to come on because it might waste a bit of time, but you are struggling. I think it's the way he's landed. He's all right though.
Well, he's ushered the physios away and is running back to take his position in the heart of that Leeds defence. Craig Paulson has the board ready to raise to show us how much additional time we're going to have, but Chris Wood has got away from Meslier here, who came herring out of his area. He's forced out wide to the left. Wood. Mellier's getting back into his goal now, back to Mangala, and the chance might have gone for Forest now, just as it looked as though they might double their advantage in first half stoppage time. It's worked wide by Gibbs White anyway. The ball in towards Wood, who's by the edge of the 6-yard box. Vauban gets ahead to it, and Leeds get it away. Well, that really would have been smash and grab stuff if Forest had scored with only their second serious chance to make it 2-0.
Yeah, he's got Wood, he's there. He's just got when he comes back in his right foot, just go for the far corner, or then pick Brennan Johnson, I think, or Morgan Gibbs White that were in the middle, but he delays it, and then Leeds get back into their shape.
Cooper wins a header against Wood. 3 additional minutes, by the way, which we are about a minute or so into. Bolly, centre circle into Wood, back to goal, has Vauban snapping at him, but Wood holds him off really well and offloads to Freuler, who can pick out Danilo. Danilo tried to poke the ball into the channel for Johnson to chase. Strout wise to it, and he guides it back to Meslier.
Yeah, I would be well, I was going to say won't be surprised. I think maybe they might make some change.
Sinisterra's won the ball and plays in Bamford, whose touch is awful. Well, if he'd taken that in his stride as he was trying to run into the area, he would have had a clear strike at goal, but it was an awful touch and it spooned off his boot and rolled through to Navas.
He struggled, to be fair, and we were talking before, Jesse Marsh saying he's in the best condition, but he doesn't look nowhere. He does look sharp, but his touch has been way off so far. You can see there his touch is, and there was a chance earlier where Nonto cut it back to him, so it's been a struggle for Patrick Bamford.
One thing I would say is it came off the heel of Bolly as
it did take a touch, it did.
Slightly deceived him, but still he'll know that he should be doing better with that. He's gone up in the air against McKenna and has nudged it towards Sinisterra, and Bamford will chase the accompanying knock through the centre, and Bolly gets there ahead of him to send it out of play for a throw.
Yeah, you can see Jesse March is frustrated, he's angry, because his team have played well in this first half, just not been ruthless enough.
Well, they gave away a poor goal from their point of view from a set piece. A fine strike by Brennan Johnson, but didn't defend the free kick into the area well enough. And they've had chances but haven't been clinical. Navas with a couple of very good saves, mind. Now it's Rocker, 30 yards out towards Bamford. Not quite the right direction on it, just hung up in the air a bit too long, so Navas came to the corner of the 6-yard box to claim.
I think he's offside maybe there anyway, Bamford. His movement's good, but he looks a bit ring rusty to me. That's why I was surprised when Jesse Marsh said he's looking so sharp, because he looks like someone who hasn't played a lot of football recently. That's why I think Leeds are missing Rodrigo, because he's been scoring goals.
And there goes the half-time whistle. Forest are in front at the break thanks to Brennan Johnson's well-hit volley from the edge of the area. Leeds have had their chances. Keylor Navas with some good saves, some wasteful finishing as well. Sinisterra in particular should have done better on a couple of occasions. Forest will be happy with the scoreline, Clinton, but Jesse Marsh will be relatively pleased with the performance.
Yeah, he'd be pleased with the performance, but he'd be disappointed that they've not took their chances. Steve Cooper won't be pleased with the performance, but he'd be pleased with the results. So there'll be a lot of talking from both our managers at half-time, and yeah, I'd be surprised if Jesse Marsh don't make a few changes as well, because it's a big game for Leeds.
OK, thanks very much, Steve. I hope that you have been entertained by Clinton.
I've been entertained by the game. I just like seeing two teams both desperate to win. I don't know if the quality has been especially high, but, you know, Keylor Navas has been busy, Clinton.
No, he has been busy. The quality hasn't been high. If there's been quality, it's definitely been from Nonto down this left-hand side. He's exciting, Crossy, for someone so young. He's so positive as a winger, just wants to take people on. But you're right, Navas has done well. Keylor Navas, has done well. Some of the saves that he's had to make are big saves, and you expect that from a top quality goalkeeper that he is. But Jesse Marsh will be disappointed that they're going in 1-0 down.
The contrast between Gnonto and Bamford is marked. Gnonto, who just looks fantastic. £3.8 million they paid for him. But Bamford, and you know, you might have experienced this once or twice in your career, Clinton, he just needs a goal of any sort.
No, I've been through it a few times in my career where you're scratching and you're trying your best to get into there. You need it to go off wherever, any part of your body into the back of the net, because once you get that goal, you get confident again. But you can see he's straining, he's trying his hardest to get into positions, but it's just not quite happening for him at the moment. But he's got to keep believing. Yeah,
absolutely. Mark Clinton, thank you very much indeed. No lack of belief for Brennan Johnson. What a brilliant strike that was at half-time. It's Nottingham Forest 1, Leeds United 0. Not long till kick-off in Rome for Italy-France in the Six Nations. It's live on 5 Sports Extra. Our commentator is Claire Thomas.
Well, on paper, this is the reigning Grand Slam champions, a side on a 13-match win streak, up against a side who've basically made this competition's wooden spoon their own. And we are expecting France to get their title defence up and running in Rome. But, and in sport there is always a but, and that's why we love it, Crowley's team, the Italians, dramatically defeated Wales in Cardiff in the final round last season, and they've won 4 of their last 6 since, including beating Australia for the first time ever in November. They're in their own backyards. They're a young, talented outfit who play sparkling rugby. They could well give the reigning champions a rattle.
I know we talk about Antoine Dupont an awful lot, but even by his own incredible standards, this is a very big year for him.
It is a huge 2023. But the thing is with Antoine Dupont is pressure doesn't seem to rattle him. He's a young captain. He's a young trophy winner to the extent that he's running out of room in his sock drawer, this player. He just doesn't seem to mind the highest of pressure on his shoulders. And in fact, the same can be said of this entire French team. The nation of France has fallen back in love with rugby recently, and now they have a World Cup in their own backyard in 8 months' time. And so all of Fabien Galtier's young squad are aware of that. There's a huge amount riding on the rest of this campaign, and there are fears that they've peaked too soon. They've defeated all but one of the world's top 10 teams over the last 13 months. Can they keep that going? Well, Antoine Dupont is the key to all of that. He's Le Petit General, the man who marshals them around the pitch, and also just one of the world's very best rugby players, so they have to keep him fit, especially as they don't really have a deputy. The player who will come on towards the latter stages of this one today, Nolan Lagarec, is an uncapped 20-year-old. There isn't much depth at scrum half, so they need him for his leadership, and they need him in that number 9 jersey. But thankfully and selfishly, they've decided not to wrap him up in cotton wool today, so we will get to see the swashbuckling scrum half out in Rome this afternoon.
Looking forward to it. Claire and Danny Kerr have the commentary on 5 Sports Extra. You can join them right now. We've got reaction to that and both of yesterday's matches in a live edition of the Rugby Union Daily with Chris and Ugo plus Sam Warburton and John Barclay from 8 tonight here on 5 Live. Already today in the Women's Super League, it finished Manchester United 0, Everton 0 and Tottenham 2, Chelsea 3. So Chelsea have gone top of the table, 2 points clear now of Manchester United. We'll be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the first time this afternoon. Full commentary on the way at 4:30 of Spurs versus Manchester City. We'll speak to our correspondent John Murray after the news on 5 Live with Carl Hartley.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Business Secretary, Grant Shapps, says he's concerned that tomorrow's planned strike by ambulance staff in England will put lives at risk. Thousands of nurses and other NHS workers are also scheduled to walk out later in the week in a row over pay. Union leaders want the Prime Minister to intervene. Grant Shapps has also defended the government after Liz Truss said in the Sunday Telegraph that her economic agenda was never given a realistic chance. The Business Secretary says it was clearly the wrong approach. Police have been called to a disturbance at the Bale hostel where Gary Glitter is staying. It's understood a crowd gathered outside the property in Hampshire yesterday. The disgraced singer was freed from prison on Friday after serving half of a 16-year sentence for sex offences involving children. And Beijing has described America's decision to shoot down a Chinese observation balloon that flew across the US as an obvious overreaction. China claims it was a weather monitoring device that drifted off course, but the US believes it was spying on sensitive sites.
The FA Cup. Expect everything.
The cup upset is on!
Fourth round replays this week.
Shot coming in, no, it's in the net!
On Tuesday evening at 7:45, hear updates from around the grounds and live commentary as Wrexham travel to Sheffield United.
Dolby up against Basham, blows it in,
The FA Cup on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
5 Live's Premier League Sunday.
This is 5 Live Sport.
And we'll be back to the City Ground shortly for second half commentary. It's Nottingham Forest 1, Leeds United 0. Let's go back to Leopardstown now. Two really good stories so far today. And Honeysuckle is just a few minutes away, John Hunt.
Yeah, she's the big headline maker of the afternoon. Honeysuckle trying to win her fourth Irish champion hurdle. Twice the winner of the champion hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival. Now age 9. Can she repel the likes of Stateman and Vauban? Two bristling young talents. We'll find out in about 20 minutes or so. The big results this afternoon already. The Dublin Chase, a surprise here. Hot favourite Blue Lord, comprehensively turned over by his stablemate. That was Gentleman Dumais, an 8-length winner earlier this afternoon. Both horses trained by Willie Mullins. And earlier, the Grade 1 Novices Chase was won by Mighty Potter, ridden by Davy Russell. He's come back from retirement, a big race win for him. And Gordon Elliott, who also enjoyed success at Sandown yesterday afternoon with Jerry Colombe. He's in good form too. So that's it so far, but the big one's still to come. Just minutes away, Steve.
Thank you, John. The dramatic music, more than deserved. The Irish champion hurdle is off around 3:10. We'll bring it to you live here on 5 Live. Celtic have moved 9 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. They won 4-1 at St Johnstone, but it wasn't quite as comfortable as that score suggests. Here's their manager Ange Postecoglou on the obstacles they faced.
Oh, look, I think the pitch was one of them. As you can see, as the game wore on, it just got more and more harder for the lads to get a foothold, so we kind of knew that. But within that context, I thought, we didn't steer away too far from the way we want to play, and I thought we controlled the game really well early on, and scored a couple of good goals, some great movement. Disappointed we conceded, but again, good reaction from the lads to go back up the other end and get a third. And as I said, the second half was tough because of the conditions of the pitch, but even then I thought we created some good chances. Had to defend more than we usually do because, again, of the nature of the game, and I thought we did that well.
I could hear your fans starting to sing about winning the league. I'm sure you're not going to say that it's done and dusted at this stage, but would you at least concede that, given the position you're in, it's unlikely that you could throw this away now?
You've gone a really roundabout way in trying to get me to say that, no, I'm not interested in that. I'm not thinking about that because I think for us what's worked really well, what's been really important is that we don't look too far ahead, and it's not just about a week at a time. We're looking at a day at a time. I still think we want to keep improving, getting stronger. I think we have, and we are. Every performance, I think we're just getting a little bit stronger, and we've got a really strong squad. We've got guys who didn't even play today, some who weren't even in the squad, who are going to be massive contributors for us. So we'll look to the Cup next week, and then we want another strong performance there, and we'll take every challenge as it comes and see where that takes us. But from our perspective, we're certainly not going to be sitting here trying to put a ceiling on what we can achieve this year.
Yeah, good try, wasn't it? But no bite from Ange Postecoglou. So Celtic top in Scotland, Chelsea top of the Women's Super League after a 3-2 win at Tottenham. Also, thanks to Manchester United dropping points in their goalless draw with Everton. Here's the Chelsea boss Emma Hayes with Betty Glover.
Congratulations, you got the win, you got the 3 points. What did you make of your team's performance?
Scrappy, thought it was a scrappy game. The pitch made the conditions like that. I thought first half didn't create enough depth to have the control that we wanted, at least in the deepest spaces. I felt we played ourselves into trouble. I think it's one of those games that, across the course of a season, you've got to grind out a result, and the important thing is the 3 points. Was it perfect? No, but it is about 3 points, and I think we did enough for that to happen.
You obviously conceded that goal quite near the end. It was a bit nervy at the end. How were you feeling at that point?
No, they're just sloppy. I thought it was sloppy from us defensively. I thought they were both goals we could have prevented. They're as a result of us switching on. We can control those things, and we as a team have to be mindful of that. But I will say it again, this is a tough league, and everybody who thinks that it's going to be near perfect performances, it's not. It's going to be a grind to the end, and I'm just really, really happy to have 3 points.
Tough league, but you do go top of the table as it stands. Does that relieve any pressure at all?
No, position's still the same. We know with the tough fixtures we got coming up, and we just need to stay focused on our journey, our process.
The Chelsea boss, Emma Hayes with Betty Glover. After Nottingham Forest against Leeds, we'll turn our attention to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Spurs. Manchester City live in full on Premier League Sunday. A win for City will see them move 2 points behind the leaders Arsenal after their defeat at Everton yesterday. Let's bring in for the first time today correspondent John Murray. Good afternoon, John.
Hello, Steve. Yes, sun shining on the Tottenham Stadium here in North London.
But sun rarely shines in that stadium on Manchester City.
Well, in actual fact, it's not been shining very much on Tottenham in recent times. We've done a number of commentaries, haven't we, with them on a Sunday afternoon, and now their record is not good. They've lost 4 of their last 5 home Premier League matches, and very often, as was the case last time round in the North London derby here against Arsenal, they just start so sluggishly. It's been a real problem. It's been a real feature of their season. But you're right, in historical terms, if you're going back over the course of recent seasons, every time Manchester City have been inside this newly rebuilt stadium, they have lost. That's 4 visits, and they've never scored a goal against Tottenham here. But, I always think that those things are ripe for changing.
Well, they are, but see, I'm sort of the same in that when we do historical stats and it's like, X haven't won at Y for 32 years, well, they might have had 20 different managers, but this is all Pep Guardiola and all the same Manchester City with 1 or 2 tweaks.
Yes, and as for the Tottenham manager today, obviously we know that Antonio Conte has had time off this week. He's been back in Italy, having his gallbladder removed. And there was a suggestion, wasn't there, on Friday that he might actually be here today. But what we're hearing today in the stadium is that he will not be here, and that it will be Christian Stellini who will be on the touchline. But if you remember back to the end of the Champions League stages when Antonio Conte was suspended and was sitting in the stands, and Christian Stellini was on the side of the pitch in the technical area, Tottenham produced one of their most exciting victories of the season, even though they weren't very good in the first half of that match, but actually ended up winning it and winning their Champions League group.
They had a very good first half at the Etihad, not quite such a good second half.
No, that's right. First half good, second half not so good, or at least Manchester City did turn it on there, didn't they? But 2-0 down, and if you think back, that's when Manchester City had lost their previous 2 matches, so they were on the cusp of a crisis, Manchester City, and then 2-0 down at half time, but turned it round and have won the couple of matches since then as well. But as ever with Manchester City, it'll be interesting to see what the team selection is when it's named in the next few minutes or so.
I mean, you'd think we could bank on Kane and Haaland. With those 2, you wouldn't bet against 6 more goals like we had 16 days ago.
Yeah, it's a tremendous prospect, isn't it, with when you've got these matches where you have Erling Haaland on one side and Harry Kane on the other. So the top 2 individual scorers in the Premier League this season, Haaland with 25, Kane with 16, and Haaland now with 31 in all competitions. And of course, historically as well, Harry Kane just needing the 1 goal to move clear of Jimmy Greaves as Tottenham's record scorer on his own. So there's an awful lot in that as well.
Thank you, John. Looking forward to it. Correspondent John Murray there at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Friend of the show, Andy Reid, Nottingham Forest legend who's on the coaching staff at the City Ground, is just having a word with a couple of players because Forest are going to make a couple of changes. They lead Leeds United by a 1-0. Let's get the second half with Clinton Morrison and Mark Scott.
Thanks very much indeed, Steve. Yes, Serge Aurier is being readied and Jack Colback for Forest as well. Not sure who they are replacing.
Well, one's Danilo. He's been booked, so he's gone off. And Mangala, the other midfielder's gone
So they're the two changes. What do you make of that, Clinton?
Well, it's changing because it looks like Nico Williams is going to come and play out like in a midfield kind of play, maybe as a 4 on the left-hand side here. And Colback will go into midfield with Freuler, and Aurier will go to right-back. So
is this all to do with trying to combat Nyonto's influence in the game?
For sure. Gnonto was getting the better of Nico Williams. It's a different battle against Serge Aurier, who I think has been brilliant for Forest since he's come in there. But I'm surprised Nico Williams has obviously come onto this left-hand side, but maybe they're thinking that the wide players are causing a lot of problems, are going to help Lodi.
So 2 changes are made and Leeds get us underway in this second half as the sun shines brightly on half the pitch here in Nottingham. Leeds looking to pick up where they left off just before half-time, trailing by a 1-0, but they were the team with momentum. They were certainly knocking at the door. They had some good chances. There were some good saves by Keylor Navas to keep them out, but also some poor finishing as well. They haven't played badly, but this would be a bad outcome if they can't find a goal. Ayling for Leeds, lifts it forwards for Bamford to chase into the right channel. McKenna comes across to see him off and has taken the ball off Bamford, but as he tried to make the clearance, Tyler Adams nipped in. The ball has come back to Adams on the right flank for Leeds. Ayling in support as well. Well, we saw Bamford with an air kick earlier, and then Tyler Adams just tried to do a fancy flick, made a complete hash of it
and got away with it. I don't know what it is with the Leeds players doing flicks. You do flicks in that when you're winning the game, not when you're 1-0 down. Make sure you get the pass to your same player, not trying to do flicks and tricks. You're losing the game. I understand when you're winning it.
Well, Nottingham Forest have conceded 21 goals in the second half of Premier League matches this season, which is the joint most in the league along with Leicester. So some crumbs of comfort for Leeds perhaps in that. Leeds have it with Liam Cooper, their skipper. No pressure on the ball, so just knocks it back to his centre-half partner Wöber, and now it's up towards Rocker, who's found it on the left with Strauch. His ball up towards Gnonto, who's up against Aurier for the first time, and well, he beat him and then went over. He's saying that he was tripped, but Rob Jones is having none of it and has just awarded the goal kick.
Nah, there was a tug on the shoulder, but Aurier let go of it. But Gnonto's causing problems again. He is a threat for them down there, that left-hand side, and I think Sinisteri on the other side needs to come to the party as well.
Let's have another look at it now. Gnonto, well, there was an arm on the back of him, but I think because he delayed too long before going to ground, that's why the ref wasn't buying it.
Yeah, I think he treads, it is kind of a foul. He treads on the back of his boot, he does, and his boot does come off in the end.
And Chris Wood has managed to work it wide to Brennan Johnson, right side, and he's found Gibbs White, who got the header on goal, but it was a tame one. It was an easy save for Meslier. While Forest are in front, they've only had a couple of sights of goal. The goal from Brennan Johnson, Wood rounding the keeper, but forced wide just before the break, and that one from Gibbs White that was straight at the Leeds United goalkeeper. Cooper brings it up towards Ayling on halfway, cuts inside of Nico Williams, who has, as Clinton was predicted, been shunted forwards into a midfield role. Long booming clearance up towards Pascal Strauch, who has Brennan Johnson on his shoulder. Strauch has worked it into Rocker, who's feeding Gnonto again. That's the ball for Leeds, as much as they can do so. And Gnonto, that's a nibble from Serge Aurier that this time does lead to a free kick for Leeds out on that left-hand side.
Yeah, he's causing problems, to be fair. I think they brought Serge Aurier on. He's just quick, he's elusive, he wants to take people on. I think he's fantastic. What is someone, was it you or Cross? He said what was it, 4.8 million?
3.5, I think.
That's
he said.
Unbelievable bit of business. Let me tell you, when Leeds do sell him, and they will one day, they'll go for big money.
Well, he's a big problem for Forest in this game, and Jesse Marsh was just inquiring as to whether Serge Aurier should have received a yellow card for that challenge on Gnonto. It was just a free kick though which Rocker is going to take. Left side for Leeds. It's about level with the Nottingham Forest 6-yard box. And all of the Leeds players, bar Patrick Bamford, who are in the box, are gathered together by the edge of the area. There are 5 of them, and 5 red shirts of Forest trying to block off their route to goal as Rocker swings in the free kick. And Aurier was out-jumped, and the header on target by Sinisterra, but safely gathered by Navas with not too much fuss. His booming clearance upfield is straight to Adams, whose header across the Ayling almost goes out. Ayling has kept it in and recycles, and Adams has it deep in Leeds territory.
Yeah, it feels like the pattern's the same as the first half. Forest are not going to press, they're going to let Leeds get to a certain part of the pitch, then they're going to go and press, and then they're going to counter-attack with likes of Brennan Johnson and Gibbs White.
Rocker for Leeds in the centre circle, driven pass out to that left, looking for Gnonto again, cut out though by Serge Aurier, and Johnson tries to run at a couple of Leeds players, got past one but not Strauch, and it goes out for a throw to Forest halfway inside the Leeds half. Remember, we've got full commentary of Spurs against Manchester City to come for you on 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. That one kicks off at 4:30. We'll have WSL commentary on Sports Extra. West Ham United hosting Arsenal. That one kicks off at 6:45, and there is currently commentary on the Six Nations at the moment on Sports Extra, with Italy up against France, and France have a try already. They are 7 points to 0 ahead. Johnson trying to work through the centre of the field, and it came to Gibbs White, who goes over, but no free kick forthcoming. Colback now has got a task up against Sinisterra. He's taken the ball off Sinisterra, and Forest have it with Nico Williams on halfway. Slide rule pass for Gibbs White. Looks offside to me.
He did look offside, you're right, Mark. He is offside. Lionel gets it right in the end before play goes on, but he was offside. He went too early.
So it will be a free kick for Leeds down in their right back area. Gibbs White just going a bit too early with his run. Cooper over it then. Square pass to Voba, and Jesse Lingard amongst those on the Nottingham Forest bench. They have such a big roll call to be able to call upon, as Crossley was saying earlier. One of their summer signings can't even get in the 23 matchday squad. Now, Bolly has had a nibble at Tyler Adams here, and is going to pick up a yellow card for going through the back of his man.
Yeah, he didn't want to shake his hand last night, like Bolly didn't want to shake his hand.
Bolly refused the offer of a hand from Adams in the first half, and yeah, roles reversed, as Clinton was saying there. So Leeds free kick. They haven't quite been able to get into the same groove that they were before the break, and chances were coming pretty frequently for them, but they have got this free kick which Rocker can clip in towards the edge of the area, but it's a poor delivery, and Bolly is underneath it. Headed clearance finds Gibbs White, who's in a race with Adams and tries to get round the back of him, and they both had a nibble at each other there, and then Gibbs White and Rocker have a bit of a set too, and like a pair of rutting stags come together and lock heads, but that was all it was in the end.
Tyler Adams dealt with it, to be fair.
Adams plays square for Voba. Long pinged ball out towards that man again, Gnonto, who took it down with his head really well, but then wasn't able to keep the ball in play, and Aurier jockeys it out for a throw. Gnonto giving the ball back to Serge Aurier to try and get Forest to get a hurry up with the resumption of play. Aurier taking his time in that third of the pitch that is still bathed in sunshine. And that ball has now found its way through, and a chance for Nico Williams, who's running towards the D of the area, closed down by Ayling, and Williams' effort is narrowly off target, curling away over the angle of crossbar and post. But that was a sloppy pass that allowed him to get away. Just took a bit too long, didn't have the pace to go through one-on-one.
Yeah, it was, but you probably want someone like a Gibbs White or a Brennan Johnson, and that's not being disrespectful to Nico Williams. His best work is as a fullback, and it was good defending from Ayling. He slowed him down, but he was unlucky. He got his shot away. It was really unlucky.
Tough angle as Bamford chases one over the top, which McKenna gets to first. Renan Lodi goes down under pressure from Sinisterra, and it's a legal pressure because Rob Jones has awarded the free kick to Nottingham Forest.
I can see substitutions coming on the bench. I think it's McKennie first.
Yeah, Forest made a couple of changes at half-time, and Jesse Marsh looks like he's not hanging around in terms of shuffling his pack as well. 8 minutes gone in the second half, still trailing 1-0 and looking to inject a bit of something. And Weston McKennie, the man who's joined on loan from Juventus, is stripped and readied for action. Bit of a surprise, as Clinton was saying earlier, that he wasn't in the starting lineup, but he will get a good half an hour or so at least.
I think Somerville might be on as well. Remember, he had his spell before the World Cup where he is on fire, scoring loads of goals. I think it could be a double substitution. I'm surprised Aronson's not on the pitch. I like Aronson. I think he's been brilliant since he's come to the Premier League and to Leeds.
Well, Tyler Adams has got a big smile on his face. That's because Nico Williams has been booked for a coming together between the pair. Likes to get in the faces, doesn't he, Adams? And Nico Williams picking up the caution for his part in that particular incident. Leeds have it then with Cooper, trailing 1-0. Forest haven't had many chances, but the goal was a thing of beauty from Brennan Johnson. Strauch on the left, trying to get to the byline and get the cross in, but Serge Aurier has done the job and jockeyed it behind for a goal kick.
He struggled, Strauch. He struggled. I've seen him a lot at left back, and I always think he struggles. Your fullbacks have to be confident in possession going forward. That's not his game. He can defend, but not going forward, and that's why I'm surprised. Well, Leeds do have Junior Firpo, but they obviously think Strauss is a better player than him. Strauch is a better player than him at the moment.
So goal kick which Navas dispatches long towards halfway. Strauch has come to try and meet it. Aurier got there first, but Leeds have swung it up towards Nyonto, up against Bolly. That's not really a fair fight in terms of an aerial duel. And it's out for a throw, which will give Leeds the chance to make this double change, and it is Somerville who is coming on along with McKennie. And Mark Rocker, one of those two, depart for Leeds. He sprints across to the touchline here, and Luis Sinisterra, who could have had a couple of goals in the first half, also departs.
Yeah, they're positive changes. I think the changes that need to be made, I'll be looking at Aronson next, maybe for Harrison.
And the changes made then, and Sinisterra takes his place on the bench, and Rocker also goes down as well. So Ayling wants the ball heaved over the top, but Cooper is unable to reach him with that. Bamford with the little layoff across to the left-hand side. Here's Nyonto now running at Serge Aurier again, gets to the byline, and Aurier with the block. Leeds recycle it though. Strauch lifts it in, and Navas can easily watch that just float over the top of his crossbar for a goal kick. Well, it is the big race of the day at the Dublin Racing Festival, the Irish Champion Hurdle. Closing stages of that with John Hunt.
Mark, they've just taken the third last flight. All eyes here on Honeysuckle, who just had a little stumble at the third last flight of hurdles. She's still right there, a length away from the leader, State Man, with Zanair trying to join in. And behind those, we've got Pied Piper, who races with Vauban. Vauban's been very keen throughout. I'd be surprised if he's able to conjure a winning run from there. But at the second last, State Man out jumping Honeysuckle, gained an easy half length in the air. Honeysuckle now under pressure. The crowd know it. The crowd here at Leopardstown, they absolutely cheered her to the rafters going to post. They've gone a little bit quiet now. She's going to have to dig deep. Racing towards the last, State Man from Honeysuckle. Vauban is trying to get there on the outside. State Man still looking comfortable though with a 2-length lead. This the Irish Champion Hurdle here at Leopardstown. State Man coming down towards the last, jumped it with a 3-length advantage. Honeysuckle's giving it everything once again, but she's second here. She's too far back. She can't get State Man back, and State Man Man is the Irish champion hurdler as Honeysuckle clings on for second place ahead of Vauban, Pied Piper and Zanayer. So State Man it is, who just proved too good on the day, the younger horse. And maybe, Mark, as we're 5 weeks away from the Cheltenham Festival itself and the champion hurdle, State Man is the one who will give hot favourite Constitution Hill most to think about. Honeysuckle beaten for only the second time in her illustrious career.
Thanks, John. Top stuff as ever. There is another race to come, the Tattersalls Irish Novices Hurdle, which is at 20 to 4. We'll keep you up to date with details of that one as well. Here at the City Ground, we've almost played an hour, and Leeds have made those two changes. Somerville and McKennie coming on, and Harrison now comes forwards and tries to work it in towards Bamford on the edge of the area. Somerville jostling for it. McKennie almost got there as well. Tyler Adams in centre field had the ball and then gave it away. Colback picks up possession. First time I think I've said Colback's name since he came on at half-time for Forest.
I haven't seen him in any of this second half. Sorry, I couldn't hear myself there, but yeah, it's back now, working in order. But yeah, I haven't seen him second half. But what he's done, he's probably just sitting there, and he goes unnoticed, Jack Colback, because they're having to defend ever so well. So him and Freuler have to be tight and just start screening that back four.
Jesse Marsh just telling Rob Jones that he thinks Forest are taking liberties with how long the restarts are from all the free kicks and the like. Eventually McKenna does drill this one up to Wood. McKennie wins it back for Leeds. Harrison was beaten to it though by Serge Aurier, and it's knocked forwards by Remo Freuler. Aurier's got forwards here and is almost by the byline on the right flank. A bit of pirouettes from him, and it came off a Leeds player last and out for a throw.
Yeah, and Forest need a bit of possession as well, Mark, because it has been all Leeds. Leeds have been dominating this second half, but I feel like I'll wait to the end of the game, because I feel like I'm a broken record when I watch Leeds. Very entertaining on the eye, but just not clinical enough. And the difference between staying in the Premier League and not staying in the Premier League is scoring goals. That's why the centre forwards get paid all the money. Well, I'm only joking.
I remember that from the Palace days. Throw from Aurier in towards the edge of the area, but can't find a teammate, so Aurier has to pick up the pieces again and goes down onto his knees after a challenge on him, and the free kick is awarded. Well, big part of Forest's recent improvement has been their home form, unbeaten in their last 6 Premier League games since the 3-2 defeat to Fulham here in September. We've won 11 points from the last 15 on offer at the City Ground. Over the first 5 home games this season, it was just 4 from a possible 15. So that banner we saw earlier, this is our fortress, it's not just words, it's backed up by facts as well.
Is, and they've been brilliant, to be fair. That's why I say credit the manager.
Free kick for Forest now, which was a tricky one to defend. Méliès decided to stand his line, and 3 Leeds players went for it and eventually cleared it away, and now a chance in transition for them to come forwards. McKennie though took too long, and it was taken off him by Aurier in centre field, and Colback goes all the way back to Navas.
Yeah, he's got to move, he's got to do quicker than that, McKennie. He's got to play quicker than that, because this is quicker football than Serie A, that's for sure.
Nico Williams trying to keep a long Hoyt clearance in play, unsuccessful though, so Leeds get themselves the throw, which Ayling will take. And again, Jesse Marsh just asking for a bit more urgency from his side. He would have been heartened by how they finished the first half, when they were building momentum and they were creating some chances, but it's not been the same since the second half got underway.
No, it hasn't. The first half they created a lot of chances, not in this second half. Forest have defended well.
28 minutes left to play, and Forest defending this 1-0 lead. Are they heading for another home success? I mentioned that they've struggled to put the ball in the net. Leeds, well, if you look at Forest's return as well, 16 Premier League goals before play today. Only Wolves had scored fewer going into this match, but maybe 1 goal will be enough for them today. Nyonto, who's been the most likely source of a goal for Leeds, has it on the left. Now it's Somerville, who is again out on that left-hand side. He's got Nyonto in support. Feinted as if he was going to play it to him, but opts to go backwards to Strauch instead. Forest have got everyone back behind the ball, trying to crowd out the Leeds attackers. Somerville with no way through. It's come out to Strauch on the left, midway inside the Forest half, and now in towards the edge of the area. Somerville looks up, thought about the shot, finds Bamford instead. Bamford turns and hits straight into the body of Willy Bolly.
Yeah, it's good from Bamford there. His touch was better, and he got the shot away, but it's good defending. They can't get past. It's like a wall, just like the red wall there with the Forest players. They are defending really well, Forest, and Leeds has just got to keep moving the ball. Everything's going down that left though, and that's because Nonto. Somerville needs to hug this right touchline and combine with Ayling down the right.
Forest fans sensing that they need to play their part as well to try and help get their side over the line. Bamford drops deep to try and make something happen. He's almost by the centre circle and offloads to McKennie, and then a couple of challenges go flying in. Referee saw nothing wrong with any of them. Nyonto on the left, has he kept the ball in? No, he hasn't. Well, Serge Aurier seems to have been doing a bit of a better job in terms of containing him.
Yeah, he's been Forest's best right back though this season. I think he's played most of the games. He's aggressive in his defending, and it's going to be a battle against Nuno, but he's got tight to him. He's not letting him get running at him. He's got right tight up behind him, and he's making it really difficult.
In the Six Nations, it's now Italy 3, France 7. There's full commentary of that on Sports Extra for you right now. We'll also have full commentary on the WSL game between West Ham and Arsenal on Sports Extra later for you too. Here at the City Ground, there's no rush whatsoever from Keylor Navas, who clears long upfield the Forest keeper. Not a great deal of distance on it, bounces on the halfway line. Strauch has collected and feeds Harrison. Harrison has Freuler blocking off the route forwards for him, so rolls his foot over the ball, thinks about the backwards pass, and now darts in centre field himself. McKennie, loose ball from him straight to Willy Bolly. Lovely footwork from the centre half to skip away from a couple of challenges. Clinton like that.
I like that very much. I might change my mind. I thought McKennie was a good sign. Every time he's give the ball, since he's been on the ball, he's give it away every time he's been on it. Usually he's a good footballer, but you know, it's to try. Sometimes the pace of the Premier League, take your time to get used to it. But yeah, great feet there from Bolly.
Well, there was the thinking that he'd fit in to the Leeds system a bit better. France have extended their lead meanwhile in the Six Nations. They're now 12-3 ahead against Italy. Here is Johnson for Forest rather. Looks as though they're going to make a change here, Leeds. And,
I think
the referee is being lobbied here to fill out a second yellow card to Pascal Strauch for a challenge over on the far side. Rob Jones telling the Forest players to get away from him. Well, Strauch just barging Johnson out of play. I don't think that's a booking.
Nah, he'll be off though. His Junior Firpo's getting ready to come on, so I would think he would be off for sure. I do think he'll be off.
Looks like Rutter is also coming on as well for Leeds. So going to be a couple of alterations. Junior Firpo, as Clinton was saying, is one of them, and Jorginho Rutter is the other for Jesse Marsh, who has seen his side have their chances and miss their chances, and with a quarter of this game left to play, they are still 1-0 behind. Serge Aurier with the interception of a long ball over the top, and then a similar ball from Strauch goes out of play, and I think that might be his final contribution.
Yeah, it will be. It's not been his afternoon. I think he's been poor, to be fair, in his distribution and his defending, nowhere near good enough. And Bamford's coming off as well.
Well, Patrick Bamford hasn't quite looked at full pelt, has he? Despite what Jesse Marsh was saying about him being in the
he
best shape
hasn't.
since he came to Leeds.
Yeah, he just needs a goal. He needs a goal, but his all-round play hasn't been good enough. He hasn't held the ball up enough. And it's been a struggle for him, but he has been out a long time, and he's probably hasn't started a lot of games. It's been Rodrigo. So, as I said, once he gets that goal, he could be key for Leeds staying up.
So Rutter and Firpo for Strauch and Bamford are those two Leeds changes. I've still got one up the sleeve for Jesse Marsh as McKennie comes forwards. Pinged ball trying to set Somerville away on the right, but again, it was a misplaced pass from McKennie, who has made amends by winning possession back and finding Adams, whose ball towards Ayling is intercepted by Renan Lodi. Goes out for a throw, and again, Leeds trying to keep the momentum up. They felt that Ayling was stealing a few yards with his throw, and eventually there's a free kick given Forest's way down inside their own penalty area. And again, the frustration grows because game management. They're just trying to kill the game and take as long as possible over the restarts.
But you would, though. You would. You're winning 1-0. You're against teams that are going to be in and amongst it come the end of the season. This will take Forest up to 24 points. They're doing ever so well so far. So, yeah, this will be a big result for Nottingham Forest if they can hold on.
Yeah, that bottom 8 or so, very, very congested, isn't it? You saw just what a couple of results can do in terms of the table yesterday as Harrison motors towards the edge of the area and finds Nyonto. Came back to Harrison, who couldn't sort his feet out and get the shot away. Still alive for Leeds, but Chris Wood is back there to help out his defence. Steve Cooper turns and looks at his coaching team as if to say he's stunned that Leeds found it so easy to get into the penalty area, and then running away on the left-hand side. The ball has gone behind for a goal kick, despite Leeds being sure that they should have had a corner.
Yeah, to be fair, because Nonto, it looked like he could have got there, but he was appealing for the corner. But yeah, Leeds are dominating, but they haven't been as dangerous or threatening or creating. They ain't tested Navas enough in this second half so far.
Got Manchester City away at Spurs to come for you at 4:30. We'll get the team news shortly from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That one a 4:30 kick-off in the Six Nations. Italy have narrowed the deficit against France. They're now trailing by 6 points to 12, and there's full commentary of that right now on Sports Extra. At the City Ground, just a touch over 20 minutes left to play in a tight, nervy game between Leeds and Forest, and Brennan Johnson's goal remains the difference. It's Liam Cooper for Leeds, out from the back to Ayling. Certainly Forest have adopted a what we have, we hold type attitude, not really much in way of attacking foray from them since the second half started. Cooper makes up a bit of ground as Sam Surridge gets ready for action, so you imagine it'll be Chris Wood who comes off for Surridge, who
going to struggle forward, I think, this game so far.
Ayling, right side, low ball in towards Rutter, doesn't find him though, and it's out for a throw, and Jesse Marsh is there to scoop the ball up and give it to Adams as quickly as possible to get play back underway. Cooper finds Adams down the right side of the pitch for Leeds in towards Ayling, collected by Somerville. He's got a couple of Forest players around him. Renan Lodi had a couple of nibbles. Somerville got away from him and got the ball in as well. Rutter can't quite turn in the 6-yard box, and Ayling arriving on the scene almost managed to nip in and get a shot away, but Aurier came across to tidy things up.
He does well there, Somerville. Rutter does well to take it in, but it's good strong defending, I think, from Bolly there, and he couldn't get his shot away, but they are turning it up now, Leeds.
Showing signs of what we saw just before the break when they really were knocking at the door. Trailing 1-0 Leeds. Harrison coming forwards, tried to slip it through for Nyonto, and Aurier was in the right spot once again and dealt with it very coolly and gets the clearance up towards Gibbs-White, who shielded it from Cooper well and managed to keep his feet just when a couple of nibbles were coming in at him, but then he's given the ball away, and here comes Nyonto surging towards the edge of the box. Good challenge by Colback on him to just take the ball off his toes.
Yeah, it was a good tackle, to be fair, but I don't think he will want Steve Cooper will want Gibbs-White doing kind of tricks there in them kind of areas there. Game's open now, really open.
Get the team news shortly from Spurs, but Leeds are on the attack. They're going to make a change here. Surridge is going to come on, so let's get the team news from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium from our correspondent John Murray.
Well, Tottenham are unchanged from their last Premier League starting lineup at Fulham, so the new signings Pedro Porro and Arnaud Danjuma are substitutes, as again is Richarlison. Manchester City leave out De Bruyne and Gundogan today. They're only substitutes. Foden is still absent. So Bernardo Silva and Alvarez both start. Kyle Walker returns, it looks like, in central defence with Lewis at right back and with Ake at left back, with Cancelo now gone, of course.
Thanks, John. Full commentary with John and Glenn, the Murrays, together at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium here at the City Ground with 18 minutes to play. And Forest leading 1-0. Chris Wood has come off and Sam Surridge has stepped on. 17-6 to France against Italy in the Six Nations now. And there's a few tasty words being exchanged and a few shoves and barges over on the far side as well. And Rob Jones has had to step in. It's a game that's been bubbling, and No surprise to see that Adams is across there in the thick of it for Leeds as Rob Jones just takes stock of what exactly went on there.
Yeah, I know what went on. Firpo was just about to take the throw on. The Forest fans threw the ball and it knocked it out of his hand, and then Nonto kicked the ball back into the Forest fans, just out of frustration.
Well, he's got the players around him now, Rob Jones, and he's informing them of his thought process and why he's going to reach a decision he's going to, and now he's calling across someone else as well. Well, it seems like much ado about nothing, as Clinton was saying. And has he got his hand in his pocket, or is it just a talking to? Looks like he's just saying, calm it down, guys, calm it down.
Yeah, he just kicked the ball. They threw the football at Firpo, and Nonto kicked it back into the Forest fans. Much to do about nothing, Mark.
Yep, as Nionto tries to make something happen over on that far side again. He's got himself a throw, level with the Forest penalty area. Just over a quarter of an hour remaining. Forest leading 1-0. Be a big win for them, and a big step back for Leeds as well. The view was it was a must-not-lose game, if not a must-win one for Jesse Marsh's side. We have those back-to-back games against Manchester United on the horizon. They go to Old Trafford on Wednesday, and then they are at home to them on Sunday, so not easy fixtures on the horizon for them. It's Voba for Leeds, who lifts it towards the penalty area, and Renan Lodi intercepts easily and now sets Nico Williams away. Williams comes up towards halfway, ball with the outside of his boot for Surridge to chase, looks offside, out comes Meslier, and now, as Clinton was predicting, up goes the flag, and Meslier just has a right go at the assistant over on that far side, Wade Smith, about the lateness of the flag.
Yeah, because he thinks he's coming out to clear it, and Surridge can make a tackle, so there could be contact there.
France 19, Italy 6 in the Six Nations, and if you want commentary of that, it is over on Sports Extra for you right now. The City Ground, Forest sets another big win on home turf. Feels like a long time ago they were bottom of the table, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and pressure under Steve Cooper, that Leicester game, but they've turned it around. Credit must go to him, as I say.
Here is Harrison, left wing, down the line for Firpo to chase. It came off Bolly last as he avoided the corner. He hasn't, because he smashed the ball away, trying to prevent it going behind. It hit the corner flag and went behind. So Leeds will have themselves a corner as they chase this equaliser with just under 15 minutes remaining. It's right down in front of the Leeds fans in the Bridgeford stand. And they're trying to put some pressure on Keylor Navas as Ayling trots across to try and block off his line of sight. Rutter's across there as well, and Cooper, McKennie and Voba almost in a love train type thing, and it nearly worked out for Leeds as the corner came in towards the near post, but it's cleared as far as Somerville on halfway. No Forest player in the Leeds half. Somerville has plenty of time, but Gibbs White put the pressure on him, and Somerville turns around and says, well, where was the option for me to play a pass?
Yeah, there was options. He took too long to make up his mind. He could have gone back out to Harrison, that was on the left-hand side.
Forest standing firm. Leeds starting to get a bit desperate. Long pinged pass across to the near side, and Ayling, first time header from him, and Nionto, who's now come across to this right hand side, couldn't quite get the run on his man, and it's out for a throw.
No, he couldn't, but yeah, he's the one. He is the one. If Leeds can get him, he is the one who's causing a lot of problems.
Ayling by the corner of the area, outside the boot, poke pass through is blocked off by Renan Lodi, and he brings it forwards now and finds Surridge. Surridge left wing, darts in field, and he's tripped there by Voba, who's going to pick up a yellow card for the challenge. Forest a bit unhappy as they wanted to take the free kick quickly, but Rob Jones tells them that they've got to come back to take it a little bit slower.
Yeah, he didn't want to get into a running race, Werber, and that was the struggle for him. Didn't want to get in and move his feet.
It's a good counter from Forest. Surridge is a useful player to bring on from the bench. I saw him score a nicely taken goal at Bournemouth in Forest's recent Premier League game down on the south coast. Said that his attitude's been great, Steve Cooper, and I guess that's going to go for a lot in the squad given how many players have been brought in.
Yeah, you're going to have to try and keep everyone happy, and Surridge can score goals. He can score goals. He's probably a better natural finisher than Chris Wood is, but I think Wood might maybe offer more outside the box.
So this free kick then for Forest is swung in by Renan Lodi, and Meslier could have caught that but decided to punch instead. He got good distance on that clearance. Aurier's got it by the D of the area, and here is Surridge, whipped over the top. Well, it was a clear side to goal. He took it first time, curling effort over the angle of crossbar and post. I guess it was the right decision to go for the first time hit, but not quite the right accuracy.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed because it's a good chance. He's leaning back. If he's not leaning back, because he gets all the curl on it and it's the right direction, but it just goes over the top of the bar. So he's really unlucky, but he's just leaning back as he tries to side foot that into the far corner.
And that would have surely wrapped up the points for Forest if Surridge had found the top corner with that strike. And again, Forest taking their sweet time over getting play back on the way as they've got a throw in their right back area, and the Leeds players having to act as ball boys. And Aurier now does have the ball ready to take this throw with a touch over 10 minutes left to play. Forest still 1-0 ahead thanks to Brennan Johnson's goal. Johnson was waiting for the ball to be flicked towards him there, didn't come his way, and now Aurier steps in. Johnson with the challenge as well. It's worked its way through for Rutter, who's looking to...
That could be offside, I think.
Somerville clear. Neonto waits in the middle. The flag stays down. Now it goes up. And ironic cheers from the Forest fans, who are level with the assistant on this near side, Neil Davis, because they could all see it was clearly offside, and they're wondering why he didn't put the flag up sooner.
Because his lines... this is the one rule I don't like. I don't like it, and I know it's changed, but you're going to get people getting injuries. Just stop the game. It's offside, it's offside. You can always go back and check on it. And we could see from here, he was offside. Miles offside.
Keylor Navas with the free kick then for that offside. Italy have again narrowed the deficit. They are now trailing France 11-19 in the Six Nations, and commentary on Sports Extra of that game, the final game of the weekend in the Six Nations. Throw to Wöber for Leeds United, trailing 1-0. Final 10 minutes of the game then, and this would be such a big boost for Forest and such a blow for Leeds as well. Rutter chasing this one down the channel, but Wally does enough, and it goes all the way through to Keylor Navas. Haven't offered enough in the second half, Leeds. You can't really complain about their first half performance.
No, they haven't, and it's their goal threat. As I said, you miss Rodrigo, you're going to struggle. They don't have a goal threat. Rutter's come on, he doesn't look like he's a goal threat at the moment. Bamford needs a goal, and that's the biggest problem. I said I like the style of football, but the problem is putting the ball in the back of the net.
Gibbs-White on the left takes on Ayling, and Ayling does well to get his body between himself and the ball, and Leeds have it with Adams, and given away by McKennie, who's been sloppy since coming on. Weston McKennie, he's got lucky there because it eventually rebounded off Gibbs-White and out for a throw, which Ayling will take, but he's looked off the pace, Weston McKennie.
Yeah, he has, but he's neat and tidy. As I said, he's not played in the Premier League. Premier League's way faster than Serie A, but he can pick a pass, and that's why I think Leeds need, alongside him and Adams in midfield. I think if he can get a run of games, he'll do well for Leeds.
Leeds came into this having won 11 points from their last 16 games, the fewest by any team over that period, along with Southampton, and set to end this empty-handed as well. Jesse Marsh has gone and grabbed the ball and half-volleyed it onto the pitch.
Good technique, to be fair. Outside of the boot as well. He had a bit of spin on it and all sorts.
Little fizzer, and Leeds have taken that free kick in the centre circle. Greenwood's getting ready to come on for Leeds as well. The ball has gone out for a throw, which is midway inside the Forest half, but they're just lacking a cutting edge. They look a bit short of ideas. Perhaps that's why Sam Greenwood's about to be chucked on as well. The final of the changes that Jesse Marsh has at his disposal.
Yeah, there's not been, everything's been in front of Forest. It's been easy. You've got to keep moving the ball 1 and 2 touch, get it out wide, and that's where you'll cause problems. They were doing that in the first half. Second half, they haven't done it. But you got to credit Steve Cooper. He saw the problems, brought Sergio Aurier on, put Nico Williams on this left-hand side to help Lodi, and they've dealt with it in the second half.
Ayling's throw for Leeds in towards McKennie. Ayling tries to give it back to McKennie. Colback should be able to deal with that. And he just shields the ball, takes the contact from McKennie, and gets the free kick as a result.
And this is why I can't manage, because you should never be giving away free kicks in that area. You've got them by their byline in their own half, and you're giving away needless free kicks.
So Harrison departs, and on comes Sam Greenwood in the final of Jesse Marsh's changes. They've won 5 away points this season, Leeds. It's the fewest in the Premier League, along with Bournemouth.
They're gonna, if that doesn't sort out, Leeds will end up getting, I don't know if they'll get relegated because there's quality in there, but they'll be down there for the rest of the season. They have to start picking up points.
Voba hacks the clearance up towards Rutter, who's not been able to make an impact since his introduction from the bench. Great reactions from Jesse Marsh, almost a slip fielder there, as he just caught the ball as it flew past and gave it to Renan Lodi to take this throw. Time against Leeds, 7 minutes of the 90 left to play, trailing 1-0. Ayling's header, and it goes up towards halfway where Greenwood is. Now Nyonto, who's been a bit quieter in this second half. I think credit to Forest and those changes that Clinton was talking about from Steve Cooper, because he was really giving them problems in the first period. Might have a problem here as well. He was just down clutching his face. He's got to his feet now, Nyonto, as Bolly rises to clatter a header forwards from an aerial ball, and now lifted upfield by Freuler, who's not quite sure what he's done wrong. It's handball, so it's a free kick for Leeds, about 10 yards inside their own half. But gone a bit flat, Leeds.
No, they have, to be fair. You think the changes might have, you know, added a bit of spark to them, but it hasn't, to be fair. It's like weakened them. They don't look the same team that they were in the first half, and I think Jesse March will be disappointed, because these are the games where you need to come and take some stuff from, because your next 2 games against Man United and you make them favourites.
Will be 7 defeats in their last 9 Premier League away games for Leeds if it stays like this. Forest increasing their return on home turf as well, which has been such a good source for them, as Nyonto goes through Renan Lodi, and again it's a frustrating free kick for Leeds to concede. There was no real need for that particular coming together, and it's going to eat more time out of the game, because Forest will use as much as possible before restarting play.
Yeah, and you expect most teams would do that. Leeds would be doing that if they're winning, so I think Forest have managed the game really well without playing well, because I don't think Forest have played well, especially as an attacking option, but defensively I think they've been outstanding.
Well, the fans again on their feet as they try to get them over the line. 5 minutes of the 90 left to play. Up towards Surridge, and Ayling missed it. It's broken for Nico Williams. Left side, can he get the cross in? He can. Surridge couldn't quite get there in time, and it's cleared to the edge of the area. Colback jostling for it. Gibbs White nips in. Here's Nico Williams looking for the killer blow here, Forest, but Gibbs White gets himself in a muddle, and Adams should be able to clear. In fact, he's rifled it straight into Nico Williams, and Forest have got it back with Gibbs White. Left side, Ayling for company. He's taking it down towards the corner, Gibbs White, and then has got away and gets to the byline, and just as he was about to try and find Surridge, taken off his toes by Liam Cooper. A rare foray into the Leeds box for Forest, and the home fans cheer as one. It's going to be throw taken by Nico Williams. Well, eventually it will be. He's using as much time as possible before getting it into the feet of Gibbs White. Gibbs White goes backwards to Renan Lodi, who's tackled by Rutter, but comes away with it nonetheless, and then has a little shove with Weston McKennie as it comes off McKennie and out for a throw to Forest, who are managing the game very well. Leeds frustrated by the way that they're keeping it down by the corner flag and taking as long as possible over every single restart as well. We've got 3 and a bit minutes of the 90 left to play. Nico Williams juggles the ball. Nyonto dives in to take it off him and then clears it, but it's going to fall to a Forest player. Well, at least that's the way it looked it was going to. Freuler's in there and has sent it forward to Gibbs White, who was offside anyway.
He was offside, yeah, he was offside. I think he tried to get out of the way of it, because Sam Surridge would have been in there.
Somerville. Leeds are desperately looking for a leveller, but they've not looked like getting one in this second half. They came on strong towards the end of the first period, but have dropped off since the break. McKennie with the crossfield ball towards Ayling on the edge of the area, going for it, but not winning it against Renan Lodi. And now here's Nico Williams outside of the boot pass, looking for Surridge down the left, but Cooper gets there and guides it back to Meslier. Back with Liam Cooper again now, with just a touch over 2 minutes of normal time remaining. Forest still 1-0 up. Adams up towards halfway. No pressure on the ball, so can play it square to Vauban. Vauban works it down the left-hand side for Junior Firpo. He's aiming for Somerville. Serge Aurier's there, though, and that is something he'll deal with all day long as Jesse Marsh kicks the turf in frustration as another move comes to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's a struggle, and in that left-back position, it's been a struggle. Strokes struggled, Firpo struggled. Got to have quality. If you feel like that's where you're weak, go and invest in it, because you've invested in January, but you ain't invested in bringing in a left-back.
Forest have won 8 points from their last 4 games coming into this. Only Arsenal, Villa, Brentford and Manchester City have won more than them, and they're so close to another 3 points here. Minute and a half of normal time left to play. Somerville takes the contact in the centre circle and then takes the resulting free kick very quickly. Forrester readying another change to try and get them over the line. Andre Ayew, one of their newest recruits, is going to be the man that is brought on. He's just receiving instructions from the coaching staff as the ball is boomed towards Mellier's penalty area. He comes out of it for Leeds, chests it down and knocks it into Vauban, who can come unopposed towards halfway. Still in possession, Vauban, now to the left, and Junior Firpo. Now Forest engage, and the players go to close the ball down. But as Clinton was saying, it's all just in front of Forest, and
easy.
Able to keep them at arm's length.
Yeah, you're right.
Easy.
You're right, Mark. It's easy. It's in front. He's standing on the ball and move the ball quick, 1 and 2 touch, and that's when spaces will come. And then you get a forced pass there from Tyler Adams, and it's easy for Forest. Forest have a great shape.
And here comes Ayew. Then he will step in for Nico Williams, who is being told to get a move on as he goes off the pitch towards all 4 corners of the ground before coming up towards the halfway line, where Andre Ayew is ready to come on. All eyes now on Craig Pawson to see how much additional time we're going to have at the end of the 90, because there are only seconds left to play now in normal time. Goal kick which Navas takes, long clearance from him towards halfway. A couple of players go for it, and Surridge has come away with it. Ayew is straight into the game and is crunched by Ayling and has won a free kick, so he's already helped his team out a bit there, because that will take a bit more time out of the game as well. Craig Pawson has the board in his hand, and we're going to have 4 additional minutes at the end of the 90 for Forest to try and negotiate and Leeds to try and get a goal in, but doesn't look very likely at the moment. Renan Lodi over the free kick just inside the Leeds half, very tight to the left touchline, right in front of Steve Cooper. Lodi lifts it now towards the edge of the box. Surridge controls it with his chest neatly, and then the pass is a bit of a letdown straight to Ayling, and there's a challenge from Renan Lodi that has taken out Nyonto. Leeds free kick deep inside their own half though. Ayling smashes it into Surridge, who hadn't retreated the full 10 yards, so he picks up a booking for that, but won't mind that too much, because again, seconds are taken away from Leeds. There's another ball on the pitch now as well, which is kicked out of play. Ayling with this free kick, he and Adams are over it, taken short by Adams, and Ayling now lofts it long cross field, but hopeful ball which comes to nothing, and that's what they've been reduced to, those forced passes, as Clinton was calling them, where they've been trying to make things happen that haven't been realistic. Nyonto, who's looked their most likely provider of anything, is barged over by Renan Lodi. It's a free kick for Leeds in
silly tackle,
pretty similar position to the area from which Forest got the only goal of the game so far, and Forest have got a player down here. Leeds are a bit suspicious as to why someone is down here in injury time with the game almost up.
Yeah, I think it's Serge Aurier. I don't know why he's gone down. He's won his header and he's gone down. We don't know what's wrong with him. Maybe he's picked up an injury. No. Meslier's come up for this free kick.
So Meslier is in the area. We've got 2 minutes of additional time left to play. So the Leeds keeper is up. It's going to be Greenwood with this free kick for Leeds. In towards Meslier, who almost got his head to it. It's broken to Nyonto. Nyonto plays it square. Mellier's now retreating back towards his own goal.
What have I seen? I cannot believe what are you doing, Somerville? If I'm playing on that pitch with you, I'm having a right goal. You're trying to score from 30 yards when there's a whole load of bodies in front of you. Put the ball back in the box, mate.
Well, I don't need to explain what happened there. Clinton's said it perfectly. It was a hot shot from 30 yards out as the cameras zoom in on a Leeds fan who has put her hair over her eyes because she doesn't really want to watch any more of what she's seeing here this afternoon. The reaction from the Leeds fans will be interesting at full time.
Yeah, they're not happy at the moment, and I don't blame them, to be fair. This Leeds team should be doing better, way better than they're doing at the moment. It's down to Jesse March to get the best out of them.
Aurier, who's been an excellent introduction at the break for Forest, sent it down the right channel. Not really interested in chasing it down, anyone in red, but Aurier leaps in again, and then the ball is just spun forwards for Surridge. He'll race after it. He'll get there as well and just try and keep it down by that corner. He's unable to do so, but we're into the final minute of additional time. Forest just seconds away from another victory at the City Ground to continue their rich vein of form on home turf. And Leeds' run of games will be just 2 wins in 17 Premier League matches for them. Cooper stabs it towards Rutter, loses out, comes for Aurier again. It's been a sloppy second half display from Leeds, who have got defending to do here as Johnson runs down the right channel. He's happy to keep it down there, and he's got 3 Leeds players coming to try and take it off him, and he's eventually rolled it out for a goal kick. So
that's good. You take that with 30 seconds to go. I think it's really good centre forward play. Before that, Sam Surridge should have done that.
Well, the 4 additional minutes are up. Will Leeds get one last chance to try and get themselves back level? Rob Jones has had a look at his watch. The whistles from the home fans get ever louder. They need to get it in the box here, Leeds. They might have a chance to do so. The ball is crossed towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and McKenna is there. And there is the full-time whistle. Big win for Nottingham Forest. And it's a big loss for Leeds United as well. Over the course of the 90 minutes, Leeds probably had the better chances, but it was a flat second half display where they didn't really ask any questions of Kayla Navas, and Brennan Johnson's fine first half strike is enough for all 3 points for Forest. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, I feel we say same old story with Leeds. Yeah, play nice, attractive football, lacking that killer instinct, and that could be their downfall come the end of the season, not putting the ball in the back of the net. Credit Forest, it wasn't their best performance, but they dug in, defended excellently. They brought in a lot of players. People questioned that, but Steve Cooper's turned these players, and Forest have got a great chance. We were talking before the show if Forest are going to get sucked in. They won't get sucked in. The way they're playing at the moment, Forest will be fine come the end of the season.
OK, thanks very much, Clinton. The City Ground is bouncing in the sunshine here, Steve. Full time, Nottingham Forest 1, Leeds United 0.
Clinton, over the last 5 Premier League games, Nottingham Forest have 11 points. That is more than Arsenal. That is more than Manchester City. And the way they played, they were resilient. They were together. Forget how many signings they've made. This Nottingham Forest team are a team.
They are a team. There's a great togetherness. That comes from the manager, though. He has to work with these new players coming in, a lot coming from different countries, and they have to buy into what Steve Cooper wants to do. But it's 2 players that he knows personally that are bought into it, and they help the other teams. Other players, Gibbs White and Brennan Johnson. I think them 2 this afternoon were excellent again. But yeah, credit must go to Steve Cooper. He's doing a fantastic job at this football club. And it weren't long ago where they lost to Leicester. People were saying, could he lose his job? And the hierarchy stayed with him, give him a new contract. I think Forest will be fine.
Alarm bells for Leeds?
Yeah, big alarm bells for Leeds. First half, I thought they were really good. Missed a golden opportunity. Second half, nowhere near it. They had all the possession, but it never looked like they were going to score. Moving the ball too slow, and that's down to Jesse March, though. He's the manager. He sets out these players. He has to get the best out of them, and at the moment, I am a bit worried for Leeds.
Clinton, Mark, thank you very much indeed. Clinton Morrison and Mark Scott at the City Ground. Big victory that for Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, and it means that they go up to 13th place in the Premier League table. Leeds United stay level with 18th place Everton on 18 points, albeit still with a game in hand. Right, let's get the